Question from Instagram, and this is from Andrew Casey. Nice picture there, Andrew. His question is, he says he's envious of the people attending frontier bushcraft courses and learning new and valuable skills at this time of year, to be less reliant on kit. Yes, that's what bushcraft is about fundamentally, to be less reliant on kit. And we had an interesting discussion underneath one of the YouTube videos with some people a while back with regards to bow drills. Some people were saying, I would always plan to use a lighter or a Firesteel in a survival situation, and therefore I would not rely on bow drill. Well, I don't think you can ever plan a survival situation. You can plan the training that you've had, and you can prepare by carrying certain pieces of equipment on you, and I'm not saying that that is a bad idea. As I said in that answer, absolutely carry a Firesteel on you, and if you've learned bow drill and hand drill and other methods of fire by friction really well, you understand more than anyone the value in carrying those things for convenience, for reliability, for if you're injured, for speed under certain circumstances. Of course you do, but it doesn't mean to say there's no value in learning those other things. And if you do perchance end up in a survival situation, which might be a survival situation because you've lost your Firesteel, you've lost your lighter, and there are circumstances that could happen. However much you tell me, oh well, I'll make sure it's tied onto my person, this, that and the other. What if you go down some rapids and your Firesteel is in your pocket? You've fallen out of your canoe, you go down some rapids, your Firesteel is tied onto a piece of paracord, it's on your belt loop, and it gets ripped off. What happens if your trousers get ripped off? There are circumstances where you end up with much less equipment than you think you might have. And yes, some of them we could go down the naked and afraid route and say, what happens if you end up just with a fig leaf and nothing else? But the point is, I think all well and good, I've got a Firesteel in my pocket. I often have a cigarette lighter and or matches in my pocket, but it doesn't stop me understanding the value of learning friction, fire and all these other things. And I think at the heart of bushcraft, it is a reduction in reliance on kit. It doesn't mean, therefore, that you have to always use that skill under any circumstance that you can think of. We're not saying you must use fire by friction in a survival situation or a difficult situation in the outdoors where your friend is wet and borderline hypothermic. Sure, if you've got a better, quicker means of lighting fire on you, use it, but you will be better at lighting fires if you've practiced bow drill. I can guarantee that. Anybody who wants to argue against that is dumb. Okay, somebody who has practiced friction fire with multiple different types of wood, using multiple different types of tinder and taking that into multiple different types of small sticks or feather sticks and establishing an actual fire is much better than your average Joe who goes to the store and buys a Swedish Firesteel or fire rod and goes to the woods thinking that they're going to look after themselves. The person who's got the experience with all those bow drill woods and tinder materials and kindling materials and all the different methods of preparation is going to light fire with a Firesteel better than the average Joe who goes and just carries one. So even if that's your plan and your plan comes off to use the Firesteel, then you're still going to be at an advantage. So that, to me, is also the power of learning these bushcraft skills, because you've just got more tools in your toolbox. You've got more depth to your ability. And you're not reliant on kit. You're absolutely supremely happy to have it with you if you're in a difficult situation in the outdoors, but you're not as reliant upon it. You're not if you don't have it. It doesn't mean you always have to take less. It doesn't mean you have to go camping just in your underpants and use bow drill every time you light a fire. What it means is you've got options.